Hi Year 4. In writing today, we're going to do a little bit of grammar practice. Now, the grammar that we are practicing today and the sentence construction that we're going to be practicing is going to be really useful to you tomorrow, because tomorrow you're going to be doing a piece of writing based on The Shaman's Apprentice. So what you practice today, you're going to use in your writing tomorrow. And we're going to start off seeing how well you remember some basic knowledge about grammar. So let me show you these two words. Can you remember what word class they belong to? They're not nouns, they're not verbs, they're not adjectives. What do you think they might be? I'm hoping you're shouting at the screen, you know what they are. They are conjunctions, and that's what we're going to be practicing using today. So what's the purpose of a conjunction? Well, they are there to extend our sentences. They help us join clauses together. So a clause is a part of a sentence, and the conjunctions can join different clauses together. For example, I've used these two conjunctions in two different sentences. So I've got the first clause. The clauses are in green, the conjunctions are in red. I ate the cake. That could have been a sentence all on its own, but I'm going to use my conjunction to extend it. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it is a separate clause. I ate the cake. So different conjunction I'm using here to extend that sentence. I wasn't hungry at dinner time. The type of conjunctions that we're focusing on today are what we call causal conjunctions. Now, you don't need to worry about remembering that name. What I want you to remember is that these words help us to explain why something's happened or how something works. And by the end of today, I'd like you to be familiar with examples of causal conjunctions. So if I said to you in 20 minutes time, can you tell me 4 different causal conjunctions? I'm hoping that you would be able to. I've got some sentences here that use causal conjunctions. It was raining, therefore I brought my umbrella. I chose the chocolate cake because it looked nicer than all the others. The roads were covered in ice, hence it was not safe to drive. I dropped my watch on the floor. Consequently, it is broken. I just want you to have a think about those 4 sentences. Can you spot the causal conjunction in them? What's the word that's being used to join 2 different clauses together? So you can pause me, have a look at those closely, and then we can share the answers together. Okay, so in the first sentence, it was raining. That's the clause. Therefore is the causal conjunction that's being used here. I brought my umbrella. I chose the chocolate cake because it looked nicer than all the others. Because is the causal conjunction. It explains why I chose the chocolate cake. The roads were covered in ice, hence it was not safe to drive. Now I purposefully used this one, hence, because I thought it might be a conjunction that you're not so familiar with. The roads were covered in ice. Because of that, it was not safe to drive. You can see how hence has been used. Again, in the next sentence, I did think it was probably a conjunction that you didn't know so well. And I've also changed things up a little bit. And I've actually used a conjunction here at the beginning of a sentence. The conjunction I used was consequently. And I used it at the beginning of a sentence because it refers back to the sentence before. I dropped my watch on the floor. Consequently, it is broken. So because I've dropped it on the floor, it is broken. That's how that word has been used there. So you're going to have a little bit of a practice of these today. But these come in 2 different sections. So you've got a selection of sentences here that have all got a gap, just waiting for you to choose a causal conjunction that you think fits well. There are sometimes more than one option. So what I would like you to do is pause the video. You have a copy of this so that you can go away and you can choose the conjunction to put in the correct place where you think it fits best, where it makes sense when you say it out loud. You go away and have a go, and when you come back, I will show you the possible answers. So hopefully you're back with me and you've had a go at doing those sentences and chosen some conjunctions. I'm going to show you what you may have written. So here you are, and you can see for some of them, there is more than one answer. For some of them are actually 3 different causal conjunctions that would work just as well as one another. So have a look at that. See how well you've done. Okay. Part 2. I've got some more for you. So here we go. This is exactly the same thing that I want you to do again. You've got 5 more sentences and 5 more conjunctions to choose to put in. Again, pause me, you have a go, and we'll come back and have a look at it together. Okay, so here we are. These are the conjunctions that work in there. The plant died as a result of being given so little light and water. Paul was exhausted, yet still continued to run to the finishing line. Max was still angry, even though Erwin had apologised for his behaviour. It hasn't rained for weeks, hence the terrible state of the lawn. I love coming to school because I really like my teacher. Okay, so you've got 10 different conjunctions there. Hopefully you're beginning to remember these and think about how they could be used, because there's one final task I would like you to do today, and that is have a go on your own. I'd like you to now select 3 causal conjunctions and write your own sentences. So sometimes you might have a full stop and that conjunction might be used to start a new sentence. Mix it up a little bit. Challenge yourself to use the ones that perhaps were a little less familiar to you at the beginning. So these are really good practice, as I say, for tomorrow, where you're going to be using them in an independent piece of writing. So remember as many as you possibly can. And with that, I'm going to disappear, and I will see you tomorrow for some more writing and where you can put all of this into practice. I'll see you then.